So in this video, we're going to be looking at some more creative ways to use power chords. Now we know what a basic power chord is. Let's take a look at some of the things we can do with them. So let's take this G power chord, this G5 power chord, for example. Now, what if I was to move one of these notes to the side? So let's take the note on the 5th string. Let's move it up to the next fret and then back again. So now we can make a riff out of this. Okay, so that's one interesting thing we can do. Of course, we can do the opposite. We can move that note down a fret instead, because we've still got space there. So it would sound like this. And we can move it down and then up, so we can mix the two together. Okay, so we can also move this note down 2 frets because we've got our first finger here, so we can use that as a bar. So okay, so we've got potentially 1, 2, 3, 4 notes we can use within that power chord on the 5th string. So that makes the power chord start to come alive a little bit. So we can take that one step further, and we can also move the note on the 6th string as well. So we can move it up 1, just like we did on the 5th string. Okay, we can also move it down 1. We can also move it down 2. That might be a bit of a stretch, but if you can reach that, it's also cool. So you're probably thinking this already. Why don't we mix all those things together so we can move around on the 5th string and on the 6th string? Yes, on the 6th string. And that's just on one chord, so we've got a lot of mileage out of that one power chord there. So we can take that a step further even, and we can do that on 2 different power chords, so we can come up with a really interesting riff. So let's take, for example, G, and then go up to B flat or A sharp here. So we can do the same thing on each chord. So back down again. Okay, some really interesting things there that you can do with power chords. So there's one more left I'd like to show you. You can also get a much heavier sound if you take your power chord from the 5th string. So this only works with the power chord from the 5th string. So let's take, for example, the C power chord. So that's 3rd fret on the 5th string and 5th fret on the 4th string. Now if we add in a lower note on the 6th string, so we bar in the 6th string as well, listen to this sound. So that's a really super heavy power chord there. So you can practice that and just experiment with moving it around and see what you can come up with.